There's a painful truth many chosen ones carry in silence. While their spirit burns bright, their wallets often stay empty. It's a confusing reality. People see the strength, the insight, the light you bring, but they don't see the nights you wrestle with unpaid bills, delayed dreams, and the weight of responsibilities you were never meant to carry alone. The world teaches that if you work hard, money follows. But for chosen ones, the journey is not that simple. Their path bends differently. It's spiritual first, material second, and that often means enduring financial seasons that look nothing like the world's timeline. Before we go deeper, if this speaks to your soul, comment 111 below. Let this be a signal that you're not alone. Let's get this message to 5,000 subscribers, so more chosen ones can hear the truth that's often left unspoken. Here's the reality. Chosen ones carry an anointing that doesn't fit neatly into the world's systems. They walk with a deep sense of mission, often from a young age. They're guided to focus on inner growth, spiritual alignment, and moral integrity when everyone else is chasing status, money, and comfort. Because of that, they're often out of sync with society's financial rhythms. While others climb corporate ladders, build businesses purely for profit, or manipulate systems to get ahead, chosen ones are usually being trained, refined, and prepared in silence. And during this period, financial struggle hits hard. It's not because they're lazy. It's not because they lack intelligence. In fact, many chosen ones are gifted, innovative, and capable of leading industries. But their gifts don't always fit into traditional molds. They're not here to replicate the old. They're here to bring something new. And new often means building slowly, laying foundations, and walking roads that few understand. This creates a silent war inside. On one side, their spirit knows they're destined for greatness. On the other, their bank account screams lack. This tension can make them question their worth, their timing, even their calling. But this struggle isn't a curse, it's a sign. A sign that their life is operating on divine timing, not human speed. When you understand this, you stop beating yourself up. You stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10. You start to see the deeper story unfolding. Your financial struggle isn't the end of your story. It's the training ground. One of the biggest reasons chosen ones struggle financially is because their spiritual calling often moves in the opposite direction of the world systems. From the moment they start awakening to who they are, they feel an inner pull that sets them apart. While the world teaches competition, self-promotion, and relentless hustle, chosen ones are drawn toward purpose, service, and authenticity. They care about doing what's right, not just what's profitable. They crave meaning more than material gain. And in a world built on profit margins and power plays, that can make them feel out of place. The system of the world is transactional. You give your time, skills, or products, and in return you get money, status, or influence. It rewards those who play by its rules, even when those rules involve compromise, manipulation, or chasing empty success. But chosen ones are wired differently. Their spirit resists these methods. They can't fake passion for something their soul rejects. They can't chase opportunities that violate their inner peace. Many try to fit in at first, forcing themselves into corporate jobs, industries, or social circles, but over time, they burn out. Their calling won't allow them to stay where their spirit doesn't belong. This creates a gap between calling and cash flow. While others are climbing established ladders, chosen ones are being led to build new paths entirely. And new paths don't bring immediate rewards. They take time, courage, and faith. The world celebrates quick success stories, but spiritual missions often unfold slowly and deliberately. God doesn't rush their process. He prepares them for influence that lasts. There's also a deep internal conflict chosen ones face. On one hand, they want to stay true to their divine assignment. On the other, they're pressured by society to make something happen fast. Friends and family might not understand why they walk away from seemingly good opportunities. They might be labeled unmotivated or unrealistic. But what outsiders don't see is the invisible compass inside a chosen one. It doesn't point toward quick money, it points toward divine purpose. This clash can leave them standing at a crossroads, with their spiritual path pulling one way and financial necessity pulling the other. Many endure long seasons of tension, where it seems like obedience to their calling delays worldly success. But in reality, this is strategic preparation. The world system creates temporary towers. God builds unshakable kingdoms. Chosen ones aren't meant to thrive by blending in. They're meant to rise by building something higher. Their financial struggle in this stage isn't punishment. It's positioning. They're being set apart, so when their rise comes, it isn't built on compromise. It's built on purpose. Another core reason chosen ones face financial struggles is because they rarely fit into traditional career structures. From an early age, many feel out of place in environments where conformity is rewarded and individuality is suppressed. They think differently, move differently, and carry a quiet sense that their life is meant for something greater. But that uniqueness, while powerful, often isolates them. When everyone else is following a predictable path, school, job, promotion, retirement, they're usually questioning everything. They don't just want to make a living, they want to make an impact. This mindset leads many chosen ones to resist typical career ladders. They're not motivated by titles or status. They can't force themselves to settle into jobs that drain their energy or compromise their values. For example, while others might endure toxic workplaces just for a paycheck, chosen ones often can't tolerate that for long. Their spirit becomes restless. They either walk away or get pushed out. And every time they step out of alignment with these systems, they step into another period of uncertainty, financially and professionally. Traditional paths reward compliance, not calling. The system expects you to play your part, climb slowly, and prove your worth according to its rules. But chosen ones were never meant to follow someone else's blueprint. Their purpose usually requires them to create new spaces, whether through art, leadership, teaching, entrepreneurship, or spiritual work. And creating something new takes longer. It doesn't come with the instant security of a paycheck every month. It's a season of trial, error, and growth. Isolation deepens this struggle. Because their journey is unique, there are often no role models nearby who truly understand their path. Friends might be thriving in conventional careers, while the chosen one is in a wilderness season trying to figure out how to build something authentic. This difference can make them question themselves, even though deep down they know their spirit won't allow them to settle. There's also a practical cost to this misalignment. Many chosen ones avoid networking spaces that feel artificial, so they miss out on traditional opportunities. They may lack mentors in their field because their field doesn't exist yet. Their calling often involves pioneering, and pioneers don't have maps. But this isolation has a hidden purpose. God uses it to separate them from paths that would limit their destiny. If they were to fit comfortably into the world's systems, they might never develop the courage to build their own. The wilderness shapes their identity. It forces them to rely on faith, creativity, and divine timing rather than traditional structures. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it can mean financial instability for a season, but this misalignment isn't failure, it's proof that they're not meant to blend in. They're meant to build something the world hasn't seen yet. Many chosen ones don't realize that their financial struggles are not just practical, they're spiritual. When you carry a divine assignment, you become a threat to darkness. And one of the most effective ways the enemy tries to weaken a chosen one is through financial pressure. It's subtle at first. Doors that should have opened stay shut. Promising opportunities fall through at the last minute. Resources that seemed secure suddenly dry up. It can feel like a series of bad coincidences, but in reality, many of these moments are part of spiritual resistance meant to discourage, delay, and distract. Financial attacks hit hard because money touches almost every area of life. When bills stack up, when your efforts don't seem to produce results, or when you're constantly one step behind, it drains emotional strength. It can make a strong person feel small. The enemy knows if he can keep you stressed and preoccupied with survival, he can slow your spiritual impact. That's why many chosen ones experience sudden setbacks at the exact moment they start stepping boldly into their purpose. The closer they get to alignment, the heavier the pressure becomes. These financial battles are often misunderstood by outsiders. People might say, "You're just not managing well," or "You should work harder." But chosen ones know there's more to the story. They can sense resistance in the atmosphere. It's not laziness, it's warfare. And it's not meant to destroy them, it's meant to make them stronger. This is where spiritual maturity is forged. When the pressure increases, a chosen one learns to rely on faith more than feelings. They stop depending only on human systems and start trusting divine provision. This doesn't mean they become passive. It means they fight differently. They pray, they fast, they speak life over their situation, and they stay aligned even when nothing makes sense. The enemy also uses shame during financial struggles. He whispers lies. If you were really chosen, why are you broke? Or how can you inspire others if you can't even fix your own life? These attacks aim to break confidence and plant doubt about their identity. But here's the truth. The attack is proof of the assignment. You don't attack something that doesn't threaten you. Chosen ones must learn to see these financial struggles not as personal failures, but as part of the battlefield they were born to stand on. Just like a soldier doesn't panic when shots are fired, spiritual warriors learn not to fold when pressure comes. Every setback can become a setup for a greater testimony if they hold the line. Financial warfare may delay things, but it cannot deny a destiny that's protected by God. When chosen ones recognize the fight for what it is, they stop blaming themselves and start fighting back with clarity, authority, and unshakable faith. Before a chosen one steps into financial abundance, there's almost always a wilderness season. This is the period where resources seem scarce, progress feels slow, and nothing seems to move according to human timelines. It's not a punishment, it's preparation. The wilderness is where God strips away every false dependency, builds character, and teaches lessons that money alone could never teach. If you look closely, you'll realize that this season carries some of the most powerful, life-shaping lessons you'll ever receive. The wilderness teaches trust. When the usual safety nets are gone, and plans don't work the way they used to, you learn to lean on something greater than yourself. Chosen ones often find themselves in situations where logic says there's no way out, but somehow a way appears at the last moment. These moments build unshakable faith. You start to see that provision doesn't always come from expected sources. It comes from divine timing and obedience. It also teaches discipline. In times of plenty, it's easy to be careless, but in times of lack, every decision matters. Many chosen ones learn to manage their limited resources wisely, not because they're naturally frugal, but because the wilderness trains them to handle future abundance with responsibility. When you've learned how to make a little stretch, you become trustworthy with more. This season removes wastefulness and cultivates maturity. Another hidden lesson is humility. Financial struggle has a way of peeling back pride. Chosen ones, who might carry great spiritual authority or potential, are reminded that they're still human. They learn to accept help when needed. They learn to value people, not just positions. They see the world differently because they've walked through lack and understand the weight of it. That humility becomes a foundation for future leadership. The wilderness also pushes chosen ones to discover their gifts. When the usual doors don't open, they're forced to look inward and tap into what God placed inside them. Many discover talents, skills, or callings they didn't even know they had during their hardest seasons. What was born out of necessity becomes the very thing that leads to their breakthrough later. And perhaps most importantly, the wilderness season separates those who are chasing quick success from those who are committed to purpose. Anyone can stay faithful when everything is going well, but real strength is proven when nothing seems to work, yet you refuse to give up. For chosen ones, this wilderness isn't the end, it's the refining fire. It shapes their character so that when financial abundance does come, they carry it with wisdom, gratitude, and strength. They won't be ruled by money. They'll rule over it. They'll see it as a tool, not a master. So if you're in that wilderness right now, don't mistake delay for denial. This is the season where roots are going deep beneath the surface. What's growing in silence will one day be visible for all to see. One of the most overlooked reasons chosen ones struggle financially is because many of them hold unconscious beliefs that wealth is inherently worldly or corrupting. From a young age, they may have heard phrases like money is the root of all evil, or seen examples of powerful people using wealth to manipulate, control, or harm others. Over time, these ideas settle deep in their subconscious, shaping their relationship with money in ways they don't even notice. Many chosen ones are deeply spiritual. They want to stay pure in their intentions. They fear becoming prideful, greedy, or losing their moral compass. So without realizing it, they begin to reject wealth internally. They pray for blessings but feel a quiet resistance inside whenever the topic of money comes up. They might undercharge for their work, downplay their value, or even feel guilty for wanting financial stability. This inner conflict blocks the flow of abundance long before external opportunities appear. It's important to understand that money itself is neutral. It amplifies whatever is already in someone's heart. In the hands of the selfish, it becomes a weapon. In the hands of the righteous, it becomes a tool to build, heal, and uplift. For chosen ones, wealth is not meant to change who they are. It's meant to extend their reach. With resources, they can fund missions, create opportunities, support communities, and live out their purpose on a larger scale. Another factor is that many spiritual people have been conditioned to equate sacrifice with holiness. They believe that struggling or living with less automatically makes them closer to God, while humility and gratitude are essential. Lack is not proof of righteousness, and abundance is not proof of corruption. God isn't glorified by seeing his people trapped in cycles of scarcity. He's glorified when his people steward blessings well, use them wisely, and reflect his character through how they manage what they're given. This misunderstanding keeps many chosen ones in unnecessary bondage. They pray for breakthrough but subconsciously push it away. They dream of impact but quietly fear the responsibility that comes with success. Breaking this mindset requires honesty and renewal. It's about shifting from money is bad to money is a tool. It's about embracing the truth that abundance doesn't make you worldly. It gives you the ability to walk in your calling with greater strength. When a chosen one finally understands this, their financial story starts to change. They stop running from wealth and start learning to partner with it wisely. They become intentional about managing resources, setting boundaries, and creating systems that reflect their values. Instead of feeling guilty for prospering, they see prosperity as part of their mission. The key is balance. Wealth shouldn't define a chosen one. Purpose should, but rejecting wealth entirely only limits what God can do through their life. When the mindset shifts, the flow shifts. For chosen ones, financial breakthroughs often come later than expected, but when they arrive, they're bigger, deeper, and more meaningful than anything quick success could have given. This delay is one of the most frustrating parts of the journey. Watching others rise fast while you're still in the shadows can be discouraging. You see people cutting corners, chasing trends, or using manipulation to get ahead, and it seems to work for them. Meanwhile, you're walking the narrow road, doing the right thing, staying faithful, and yet your harvest seems late. But this delay is not denial. It's divine strategy. God builds slowly what he intends to last. Quick success can create shallow roots. It looks impressive on the surface, but crumbles under pressure. Chosen ones aren't meant to build sandcastles that wash away with the next wave. They're meant to build fortresses that stand for generations. That's why their financial journey often takes longer. The foundation being laid is spiritual, not just material. While others are focused on appearance, chosen ones are being shaped for legacy. This delay also serves as a refining filter. During the waiting period, distractions fall away. The chosen one learns who's real and who's temporary. They develop patience, resilience, and vision. They learn to trust the process rather than chasing shortcuts. These lessons may not pay the bills immediately, but they become the unshakable pillars of future abundance. When the breakthrough finally comes, it's not a random stroke of luck, it's the result of alignment. The gifts are sharpened, the mindset is matured, and the faith is rooted. Opportunities appear that match their calling, not just their need. Their influence expands naturally because it's built on authenticity. And unlike quick money, this type of abundance doesn't vanish overnight. It grows, sustains, and impacts others. There's also a spiritual reason for the delay. God often hides his chosen ones in plain sight until the right moment. He withholds certain blessings not out of cruelty, but to protect them from environments they're not yet ready for, or from people who would exploit their gift before it's fully formed. The delay creates separation. It ensures that when the doors open, they're stepping into rooms they're equipped to handle. When chosen ones look back, they often realize that the very seasons they once resented were the seasons that prepared them for everything. If wealth had come earlier, they might have misused it, attached it to the wrong people, or lost themselves in the noise. But because it came later, it came with wisdom, clarity, and strength. So if it feels like you're stuck while others are rising, remember this: your story is unfolding on a different timeline. It's not late. It's layered, and the reward that's waiting is not just financial, it's spiritual, generational, and purposeful. Spiritual understanding is powerful, but lasting change also requires practical action. Many chosen ones carry deep wisdom and purpose, but their financial lives begin to shift when they Combine spiritual alignment with clear, intentional strategies. Breakthrough doesn't happen by wishing for it. It happens when faith and action move together. This is where many chosen ones turn the corner. The first step is embracing their gifts fully. Many have talents, insights, or creative abilities that they underestimate. They see their gift as normal because it comes naturally to them. But that very gift is what's meant to open doors. Whether it's teaching, writing, building, healing, creating, leading, or serving, their gift is their assignment, and often their provision is hidden inside it. Instead of waiting for a perfect job or opportunity to appear, chosen ones can begin by using what's already in their hands. Start small, offer value, serve with excellence. Consistency builds trust, and trust attracts opportunity. Next, chosen ones need to remove emotional blocks around money. Earlier, we addressed the mindset that wealth is worldly. Breaking that belief means learning to see money as a neutral tool. That might involve setting boundaries, charging fair prices for their work, or learning basic financial skills like budgeting, saving, and investing. Many spiritual people avoid these topics because they seem unspiritual, but in truth, stewardship is deeply spiritual. God blesses what we manage well. Another important step is strategic positioning. While chosen ones may not thrive in every traditional environment, they still need to be visible. That could mean sharing their message online, connecting with like-minded people, building platforms, or developing skills that match their calling. Visibility isn't vanity, it's stewardship of influence. The right people can't support or partner with you if they don't know you exist. Collaboration is also key. Many chosen ones try to do everything alone, partly because of past hurt or mistrust. But financial expansion often comes through divine partnerships. Aligning with people who share similar values and vision can multiply impact and open doors that would take years to unlock alone. Finally, patience and persistence are non-negotiable. Financial turnaround doesn't usually happen overnight, but steady, intentional steps build momentum. Pray, yes. Stay spiritually aligned, absolutely, but also take daily realistic actions. Even small progress adds up over time. When chosen ones bring their spiritual strength and practical wisdom together, everything shifts. They stop waiting for breakthrough to fall from the sky and start walking toward it with clarity. This is where calling meets provision. Their spiritual authority gives their work weight, and their practical actions give it structure. Financial struggle doesn't have to be their permanent story. With the right mindset, disciplined steps, and divine timing, they can build a life where purpose and prosperity walk side by side, not as opposites but as partners. This is the point where the wilderness ends and the promised land begins.